In today's video, what can you do to ensure that you're on the right track? Hey guys, what's going on? This is Parvella from ProPhysique.com, and today I got a great question on my Instagram direct message. Comes from somebody who's going through some struggles, and that's really what I like to help you guys with. Whatever phase you're in of this process of figuring out your physique and how you want to look and feel, let me help you. So send me some direct messages, comment below if you have a question, but let's start right here. I'm working on recomping because of chronic dieting and a very bad relationship with food and the scale. I know this is where I need to be, but I'm having a hard time. Do you have some things that I can track to hold on to in my mind so I know that I'm on the right track? I'm hitting protein, step counts, focusing on routine where I progressively over, but it's so slow. I find myself doubting that I'm doing it right. What am I doing wrong? Well, first things first. Accountability is key. So I want you to watch a quick message from this guy right here. $25,000 is up for grabs in our transformation challenge. If you are trying to change your physique and go to something like this to this, if you're a man or a woman trying to go from this to this, for $49.99, you can join our private community. You can get access to more than 100 individualized meal plans and training plans based specifically around your needs. We're also going to provide support, so not only do you reach the physique that you've been after in the next 90 days, you're able to maintain it and have the skills to move forward. So join our challenge, and I'll see you in there. All right, guys, but seriously, if you haven't already joined the Transformation Challenge, this is about the last chance I'm going to give you. After this, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. And if you're interested in $25,000, get in there. Okay, guys, so this question is from a person who has a history of chronic dieting and what happens when we chronic diet. For those that aren't aware, you're spending a lot of time in a caloric deficit, or what you perceive as a caloric deficit, with very little happening. And what typically happens in this situation is that you overeat, you get fed up with the training, you get fed up with the cardio, you get fed up with the diet, and you just go off plan for a day, a week, a month. A day's not going to do anything. A week's probably going to have an impact. But if it happens for multiple weeks, you can put on an inordinate amount of body fat. Why? Because when you've been dieting for a long period of time, your body is very adept at storing body fat quickly, okay? You have an adaptive metabolism. When you slow down digestion, your body gets very good at storing body fat in a rapid manner, okay? If you're not familiar with body fat regain, the science is a little bit scary. The statistics are pretty bad. And if you've just watched that Netflix documentary where they talked about what happened to the people from The Biggest Loser, well, you see where this can happen. People with chronic dieting history, people that chronic dieting, meaning they're kind of always in a state trying to lose weight. What typically happens is that once you put on a little bit of body fat, it becomes even harder to get it off. What you had to do before just to maintain your weight, you have to do more than that to try to lose weight, and it becomes this vicious cycle. So how do we fix it? As a coach, I've been doing this for years, okay? I've been helping people restore their metabolisms, get their hormones back in health, their digestion, their relationship with food, and honestly, just their performance and their physique to where they want it. This is a career aspiration for me. It's something that I've been working on for a long time, and it's not an easy skill set. First things first, what can you track? What I track with my athletes that I'm trying to impress upon them the importance of a maintaining build phase. By that, I mean, you don't have to gain body fat to get your metabolism working. But what you do have to do is understand that you're not going to probably lose body fat, at least for a while. So what I try to do is track daily calories. More specifically, I try to control macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats. And if you don't know where to start with that, I've got a free calculator that'll be on the screen here, but there's a link below. You just go to prophysique.com/calculator. Now, what we're doing when we do that is we're setting up your protein, your carbs, and your fats in the ideal range to support what you're doing. And over time, if your calories are low and you're maintaining on it, we might even be able to add 50 to 100 calories per week. So as someone who's looking for something to understand if they're doing better, if I can, as a coach, say, okay, here's my athlete that's 150 pounds, eating 1,500 calories. If I can bring those calories up to say 2,000, while at the same time dropping cardio from an hour a day down to 30 minutes over the course of a few weeks, maybe a few months, now we have an athlete that still weighs 150 pounds, but they're eating 2,000 calories and doing half the cardio. What's the value there? Well, we're starting to get to a place where hormones and digestion and metabolism are all going to start to work in our favor. What I have found, and this may be a scary statistic for some of you, is it takes about as long as you've been dieting for me, coaching athletes that compete in bodybuilding shows, we're usually, dieting for 16, 20, 24 weeks, depending on, it usually takes about that long to get everything back to 100% normal. So when you come out of a dieting phase, prepare to spend at least that long in a maintenance phase. Now, that doesn't mean you need to put on a bunch of body fat. Some people use this as an excuse to go, well, okay, I can't lose weight. I might as well just eat everything I want until I fix my metabolism. You can put yourself in a worse position than you've ever been in. In fact, the statistics on fat loss, the people that weigh the most have tried to lose weight the most times, right? So there's probably a little bit of a correlation there between the approaches they're taking to dieting, how many times they're trying to diet, and how much struggle they're actually having. Now, I've said this many times. I can highlight my client, Jamie Calais, from years ago. I did a whole video series with her, had her on the podcast. She was stuck at 190 pounds. I'll show you some images of her here. And over the course of 4 or 5 years, I got her here. Now, what did I do there? Well, we spent a lot of time maintaining, and then we would spend a little bit of time cutting. And when her body stopped responding, we would spend more time maintaining. And then after a while, we would do a little cut again. So we were able to get her down from like 190 pounds where she was binge eating, hiding in her pantry, and just ashamed and almost afraid to go to the gym because of a terrible diet approach that she had taken. She had a bad relationship with food and she didn't really know how to proceed, but she allowed me to help her kind of rebuild and restore things before we cut again. Then we got her down all the way to like 130 pounds and she's able to maintain the look that she wants, but it took a little time. And so depending on how much effort and how damaged you've been from your previous approaches, it might take a little more time. But what I always say is, once you do it right once you fix yourself once, you'll never have to do it again. Okay, guys, and I'm walking around proof of that. Okay, I spent years dieting down for bodybuilding shows and rebounding beyond where I wanted to be. Now, I dieted down for a show 2 years ago. I've been like this ever since. I know how to bring food up, maintain 10% body fat or whatever body fat I want to be at through the use of proper training, proper cardio, proper nutrition, and paying attention to what works for each individual. Okay, so in your situation, the things that you need to be tracking are your calories, some pictures and measurements, and also your performance in the gym. Getting caught up on a number on the scale, if it's not going down, you can replace that with, man, I was able to lift a little bit more this week. I was able to eat a little bit more this week. And you can start to have some metrics that are very positive that have zero association with losing weight. Okay, hopefully this helps answer your question. Hope you guys are having a great start to your day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.